Help! I can't stop buying the Dark Knight Trilogy and it's getting a bit weird. I used to be really disciplined about only keeping one copy of things on home video, but now all bets are off. And apparently I think not 2, 3 or 4 but 5 sets of copies is perfectly reasonable. Each version now offers something that the others do not. So with the new release of the Batman Begins 20th Anniversary Steelbook Trilogy box set, I'm now up to 5 sets of these films. Definitely something that will be on many people's Christmas lists this year. Warner Brothers Home Video have proven once again that they get home video better than anyone else. New artwork brings in all your favourite images from across the trilogy into a unified style that puts the rather epic bat symbol for each film as a prominent emblem. I had hoped Steelbook 4 in the trilogy was going to contain some sort of new bonus disc, but they've gone for paper tapped, which, don't get me wrong, I'm totally in for, but I would have liked both ideally. What's ridiculous then is that the actual substantive physical media offers no advantage from the last time I bought the trilogy on 4K, which were the limited edition film book releases, sort of like digibooks. The first 2 contained cool, detailed essays about production of said films. The third, for no good reason, then flipped to a cartoon version of the prologue that they seem to love so much, which I'm fairly ambivalent about, and a few other bits of concept art. I would have preferred another write-up to match all 3, but it must have been a crazy week at the Warner Brothers office back when these were produced. They do use the original artwork from the 4K releases, and I have to say, I very nearly pulled the trigger on the individual 4K Steelbook box sets that came out a year or 2 ago, but figured they were just too similar apart from the Steelbook and the tat, and I ummed and ahed for so long that I missed my shot at them. However, regret compounds over time, I guess, and they got me in the end with interest. Before the 4K, I was sold on the Ultimate Collector's Edition of the trilogy. This comes from the classic widebook style Warner Brothers often utilised in the 2010s, and contained the trilogy on Blu Ray as well as a bonus disc with over 90 minutes of exclusive features. There were Hot Wheels of all 3 main Dark Knight vehicles, which made me go out and buy Tim Burton and Adam West Batmobiles to try and match, as well as a letter from Christopher Nolan, some art prints of the villains by Mondo, a very cool matte and glossy alternating photo book which introduces each film, and the disc holder book, which for some reason the UK disc art was misprinted, so nothing lines up on the pages properly. Very annoying. Nearly bought the American version of the set because of this. I'd waited so long for this, and had even sold my original Blu Ray trilogy which released alongside The Dark Knight Rises in 2012. That was my first Blu Ray collection of the trilogy, and contained a 64-page excerpt from the art and making of the Dark Knight Trilogy, a book that I would go on and buy along with the Dark Knight Archive Vault one. But let's not digress into other Dark Knight merch I've bought, otherwise I'll end up bending your ear off about McFarlane 7-inch and in art 1/12 scale stuff. Anyway, as you can see, I ended up getting this again, gifted it by a friend who was unfortunately getting rid of his home video. Oh no! I also got the collection's DVD box version, which has the beautiful lenticular blending of all 3 bat symbols with their original movie poster styling again, the same art and making of the Dark Knight Trilogy excerpt, plus an inner box, which would eventually become the second pressing of the box set's outer box, and a new digipack with the 2-disc special editions of all 3 films with matching symbol art. I remember this was actually the only way you could get the Dark Knight Rises 2-disc special edition DVD, as the individual DVD release only gave you 1 disc. DVD special editions were definitely my original way into these films. The 2-disc edition of Batman Begins contained a 72-page collectible comic book featuring the very first Batman story from Detective Comics 27, along with an extract from Batman The Long Halloween graphic novel. This really takes me back to 2005, down to awaiting Harry Potter 4, and this being what mobile phones look like. I would eventually replace my original 2-disc Dark Knight release with the 3-disc Target exclusive edition from America with Batmask collectible packaging, which unfortunately the plastic is breaking down on and becoming tacky. Anyone know how to fix this or stop it? What I loved about this though was that there was a 3rd disc hidden behind the mask called Batman Unmasked, another exclusive documentary that I don't believe has been repeated elsewhere yet. So you see my issue. I now have 5 sets of the trilogy, all of which bring something unique to the table, be it bonus content or cooler artwork or just added stuff. And now we have the new Warner Brothers edition, which sort of grows up the artwork style and then unleashes a tirade of new bonus items, the most useful being the Joker vandalized Gotham newspaper, which I have to appreciate for having been written properly throughout and alluding to things like fear toxin from the first movie, which never even got a mention in the sequel, blueprints for the Bat, and then a weird envelope containing what appear to be 5 world-inspired bookmarks. No obvious link to the Dark Knight here, but let me know if I'm missing something. Some cool lenticulars showing Bruce Wayne and Batman, and then 6 art cards from across all 3 movies. I'm glad that there's enough in here that reflects the trilogy as a whole, as the golden brown colouring of the steelbook made me worry that this was all going to be Batman Begins, and that they were going to repeat this concept in a few years with a new version commemorating the Dark Knight's own 20th anniversary. I wouldn't be surprised either way at this point, given what a piggy bank this trilogy has been for Warner Brothers, and even though there are those of us trying not to buy it anymore, we keep getting got. However, as I always say on the channel, if you love home video, you do need to support it, myself included. And when the set offers enough reasons to do so, I still dive right in. So what's been your favourite incarnation of the Dark Knight Trilogy so far, and is it worth buying more versions of it when the discs themselves haven't actually changed? Let me know your thoughts and subscribe for next time we talk about something else a bit weird.